What is going on, everyone? I hope you are all healthy and happy. If you live in some of the cities on today's list, you may not be as healthy as you could be. Today we're looking at cities in the United States that don't have the best air quality. Actually, these are the worst of the worst. The way they measure air quality is known as the Air Quality Index. What is that, you ask? An Air Quality Index, or AQI, is a chart used by government agencies to communicate to the public how polluted the air currently is or how polluted it will be in a forecast. Public health risks increase as you get a bad AQI. So here's the chart they go by. Green is perfect, it's a nice day to be outside. Yellow, or moderate, isn't the best, but it's not bad. It's like the air quality that you get when you're a couple yards away from a campfire, maybe. Orange is unhealthy for sensitive groups. This is like the air quality of a reggae concert. Red is bad. It is called unhealthy, and it's like you're on a tour bus with that reggae band. Purple is called very unhealthy, and it's like you're still on that bus with the reggae band and you hit a skunk and pick up some glaucoma patients. Maroon is the worst. It's called hazardous. This is like being on that bus with the reggae band. The skunk is now stuck underneath the bus. The glaucoma old folks are getting wild in the back, and the exhaust breaks, and now you have exhaust coming up through the floorboards. I hope that clears it up for you. Now, here's the formula they use. We won't be getting into that today because that could be written in Klingon for all I know. I'll tell you what, let's get started on the list. Here's my top 10 cities with the worst air quality in the US. Number 10, Chicago, Illinois. The air quality here in the Windy City is one of the worst in the country, especially the closer you get to the city. If you have sensitive lungs and you need to work in Chicago, it's probably best to live in one of the surrounding suburbs where the air quality is slightly improved, or just don't live here altogether. Head to Iowa. They have decent air quality and almost zero smog. The good news about Chicago is when the wind comes in off the lake, it makes the smog Peoria's problem. Any major city with a large body of water gets some relief from smog when they get some wind. The air quality during the winter in Chicago isn't that bad. The worst months are May through August, and I'm looking at the air quality today in Chicago, and it's considered healthy. It's not a bad day. Today's October 11th, 2019. Number 9, Dallas, Texas. Dallas has an overall poor air quality, mainly due to the power plants in the area. They have recently done a coal power plant cleanup, which has improved the conditions. However, the city still ranks 15th for high ozone days out of 228 metro areas, and it came in 9th for overall smog. Dallas has a lot of things going on for it. Considering how large and busy it is, I'm surprised it's not worse. I've been to Dallas on what I would consider some really bad days for air quality, and I can tell you, you could see the brown air. Not really as bad as some of the other cities on this list, but it's there. Okay, maybe it's not brown, but it's definitely a light amber, I'd say. Yeah, amber. Almost like a beer, but not as refreshing. Number 8, Washington, D.C. As of April 2019, the D.C. area received a failing grade for air quality. According to the data collected in 2018, our nation's capital had 8 moderate yellow days and 2 orange days. That isn't great, but it also isn't terrible. Keep in mind, some cities in this country haven't seen an orange day in years, and obviously the goal is 100% green days. It has nothing to do with the band. You know what I'm talking about. You'd think with all the BS in D.C., it would be so much worse. Washington, D.C. has taken great strides in the air quality department. In 2011, they had 3 red days, 12 orange days, and a buttload of yellow. So they're moving in the right direction. It's obviously not the best yet. Number 7, Salt Lake City, Utah. Salt Lake City is known for having the Great Salt Lake, but it's also known for having brown skies and 6 coal power plants in the area. These plants are producing dangerous amounts of ozone pollution. Currently, the city ranks as one of the worst when it comes to smog pollution. There's this one power plant called the Bonanza Power Plant that's scheduled to be shut down in 11 years in like 2030. So that'll help out the air quality. Salt Lake City Metro has mountains and hills on like 3 sides of it, so it kind of keeps that smog right there over the city. By the way, the word smog is a combination of the words smoke and fog, and it was first used in London in the late 1800s. So this bad air quality stuff isn't new. We just started realizing it was bad for you in like the 1970s. At least that's how it seems. Number 6, Las Vegas, Nevada. As if cars, buses, human regret and despair aren't bad enough for the air quality of Las Vegas, you have 4 coal power plants within Sin City. A 5th power plant was closed within the last several years, making it a little bit better. But still, the American Lung Association gives Las Vegas an F in high ozone days and an F in high particle count. With air similar to the air 5 feet behind a 72 Impala and the heat, it only makes things worse. If you're someone with sensitive lungs, maybe living here isn't the best idea. On summer days flying into Las Vegas, it's not a pretty sight. You really hope the pilot's looking at the instruments because you know he can't see the airport. You punch through the clouds, you land, you look out the window as you taxi to the terminal, trying to figure out where all this smog is coming from. That's when you see a bus traveling down East Sunset Road with smoke billowing out of every crack. It's on its way to perform at some reggae festival. It's crazy in Vegas. Number 5. New York, New York. Although New York has retired most of its coal power plants, the city is still suffering from the effects they've caused to the environment. Emissions from vehicles aren't helping improve the conditions either. It is recommended that you walk, bike, or take public transportation any place you go in the city. At the very least, carpool. The American Lung Association gives New York City a big fat F in high ozone days. But this should be expected. It is a giant city, and it is very busy. Busy means all forms of transportation are happening on a major scale. New York City's air quality will never be good for anyone with sensitive lungs. If you haven't figured this one out already on your own, you have bigger problems than sensitive lungs. Like maybe not enough oxygen is getting to your brain or something like that, because this one's kind of obvious. New York City has bad air quality. Number 4, Houston, Texas. Houston has the worst air quality in Texas. Although it only has one coal power plant, it's the largest coal power plant in the state of Texas. That's not where the fun ends in Houston. If you go an hour south, you have Texas City, which has a giant area of refineries and chemical plants that looks like a futuristic world in a sci-fi movie that's trying to suck the last ounce of natural resources out of the planet before they just leave and give up on the planet. That's what this area looks like. The wind off the Gulf is forever sending that crap towards Houston. Had enough? Wait, there's more. Just outside and to the east of Houston, you have another area similar to the one in Texas City that is just dumping crap into the air. Houston is also very spread out, and everyone drives everywhere they need to go. They also have a strange amount of uninsured drivers. They all need to call Geico for a quote. That's from another video. Let's move on to the air quality. Houston is in bad shape when it comes to air quality. All these things add up to Houston sucks if you have sensitive lungs. Number 3, Denver, Colorado. Denver's already a bad place for those with sensitive lungs due to the elevation. However, it gets worse when you consider that the mile-high city has a failing grade for high ozone days on average and particle pollution on average. And yearly, actually. The annual report on that one's horrible also. Get away from Denver and you'll find some of the best air on the planet. Denver is just bad for people with asthma, COPD, mesothelioma, and lung cancer. Far too many days throughout the year are marked as moderate when it comes to air quality. Like I said, moderate's not the best. When you're that high above sea level, it's harsh. Number 2, Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix carries the nickname the Valley of the Sun, and a lot of people think they should change it to something a little more accurate like the Valley of the Constant Cough. It constantly has poor air quality ratings thanks in part to the coal power plants in the surrounding counties. Thankfully though, many are in the works of being shut down and converted to natural gas. Let's hope that works. I mean, theoretically it should. The sad truth about the Valley of the Sun is a lot of the air quality stats haven't changed since 1999. Most major cities in the United States have made great strides in air quality. It's like in Phoenix, they didn't believe the smog thing was bad for you. It's almost like they were 1940s and 50s America when they actually believed smoking was good for you, or at least that's how they dished it out to the general public. The American Lung Association gives Phoenix Fs in every air quality measurement they give Fs to. At least the Valley of the Sun is consistent, so that's good. And number 1, Los Angeles, California. The smog in Los Angeles is a thing of legend. It's like some legendary beast that hovers over the Los Angeles basin. I mentioned this before, but as a kid, I was way into Godzilla. In my 6-year-old brain, I thought the smog was put there as a smokescreen to hide the city from Godzilla. I always figured it worked because he never showed up. I thought he was just wandering up and down the coast looking for Los Angeles, could never find it. Los Angeles is known for having the worst air quality in the country. They have for years. Being surrounded by mountains, having millions of cars idling on the freeways every day, throw in a couple refineries, and the heat of Southern California, you have a horrible place for air quality. The American Lung Association gives them so many Fs, if you tried to read the report out loud, people would think you have a stutter. To make matters worse, there's frequently forest fires, like actually today. They've got a major one outside Los Angeles and one up in the wine country. Great sunsets when you have a forest fire, but the air quality drops through the floor. I mean, worse than it normally is on a daily basis. In general, it's just a bad idea to pick up a mortgage in the hills around Los Angeles. Alright, so that is my top 10 worst cities for smog or air quality. I'm not sure what I'm gonna call this one yet. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. You know, your lungs are probably the most sensitive thing in your body, and when you're just inhaling constant bad air quality, it's worse than a lot of things that people are doing. It's really bad. Anyway, don't forget all the links below. Give this video a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Tell me your thought. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you know when I got a video coming out. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.